Good morning, beautiful people, and welcome to what is my second attempt at a weekend vlog. So, let's explain some things very, very clearly. First of all, this is not going to have a lot of editing because I am lazy and it's just like a casual reading vlog situation, okay? Secondly, my weekend reading vlogs, at least for the next couple of weeks, are going to be from a Thursday morning until a Sunday night. I am at a point at my job where I'm still technically in training. Like, the training for this job goes for like 2 months because there's a lot to learn. And while I'm training, my trainer only works part-time. So I can only train when my trainer is obviously at work. So she currently only works Monday to Wednesday. So those are the days I currently work, which means Thursday to Sunday is technically what I consider my weekend. I know that I'm very lucky to have an uber duper long weekend every weekend for the foreseeable future. I think that's going to change at some point. I think once I'm done with my training, I will be working different days of the week. I think possibly Wednesday to Friday, but I do have the opportunity to do more days if I want, so I might consider asking to do Tuesday to Friday. We'll see. That's not part of this video. So, guys, my current read. You know what is so sad? Is that last weekend, during what would have been my first weekend reading vlog, I read one of the best books I've read all year. And you guys missed that entire process because I couldn't be bothered filming it. So I might do like a little mini separate video that is just a review on that book, which I don't think I've ever done on this channel. I think on my TikTok I've like done singular book reviews, but I don't think I've ever had like a 20-minute video on this channel just talking about a single book. But I feel like this book kind of needs a chat. It needs a deep dive. Not super deep. It needs like a toe dip, you know? I'm just going. Okay, so this week I did not get a super large amount of reading done. I finished the book I was just telling you about that shall remain a mystery on my channel until I post a video about it. And immediately after, I took like a day or two to just soak in the vibes. And then yesterday I started reading, or rereading rather, The Housemaid by Miss Rita McFadden. Now, I would not have picked this to read this month. However, this was my book club pick for this month. And my book club meeting is tonight. What had happened? Sorry, I'm feeling very, very like itchy and allergy-like this morning. So what had happened was, after the last book club meeting, a WhatsApp group was created and everyone who attended the first meeting was supposed to be added to this WhatsApp group. In this WhatsApp group, they then voted for this month's book. I did not get added to the WhatsApp group because there was an issue with the phone number not showing up for the event organizer when I purchased my ticket for the last event. I don't know what happened, but she announced that this was the book that we were reading this month. And I commented on the Instagram post being like, when was this decision made? Because like, I would not have picked it. Not in like an annoying way, just in a like, I thought we were all going to get to vote on the next book and there was no vote in sight. And it turns out the WhatsApp group had already been created. So I got added to the WhatsApp group after the fact. I would love to know what percentage of people chose this book to read, because my only issue is this book has been out for so long and it is so popular. I feel like you can either do a book that came out a while ago that maybe people have forgotten about, or a recent read like we had last month with Emily Henry. This book, A, came out during lockdown, I believe, in Australia. B, came out quite a few years ago, so most people have had a couple of years to actually pick it up. 3, C, I don't remember. It is ridiculously popular. Like, people that aren't even like deep diving into the thriller world know about The Housemaid. 4/D, it's being turned into a movie, so maybe that's why it was an option for this month, because it's being turned into a movie. I don't know. I just felt like it was a really weird choice, because this book I feel like is so fucking popular. It could just be me and my circles, but like I've personally convinced 3 people from my personal life to read this book. So maybe I'm the problem. Hi, it's me. Wait, I don't know Taylor Swift at all. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Yes. So, back to what I was saying. Yes, this book was the pick for the month. And I initially was like, well, I've already read the book. I don't really want to reread it, so I might just skip this month's book club meeting. But then I was like, I really want to see my girlies again. Like, I really had a fun time with my little group from last time, the 5 of us, and I was like, yeah, I really want to see them. So I was like, I'm going to go. But then one of my girlies messaged me on Insta and she was like, yeah, I can't make it. That is literally the one day this month when I have plans I cannot get out of. And I'm like, well, if one of my girlies isn't going to be there, like, and she was my low-key, one of my favorite girlies. Tied for first place with one of the other girlies. And I was like, well, fuck, maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I shouldn't. But then other things happened this month that have really pushed me in the direction of like getting out there and meeting new people. So I bought my ticket. I decided to go. It is a ticketed event. I think it takes like $20 just for the like organizer and the wine. We get lots of wine when we get there. So that's where my money is going, to some prosecco, which I'm very excited for. Anyway, I was like, maybe I'll just reread my review from the last time I read The Housemaid. Like, I remember most of The Housemaid. It's pretty, like, hard to forget. But then after reading that last book that was amazing, I thought to myself, maybe I need to just do a reread right now. Also, this is a side tangent and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't remember what I've posted on this channel. Like, I don't even know how long I've been posting on this channel for. All I'm going to say is, when I was in high school, and I graduated high school in 2013, so it's been at least 12 years, right? The Long Walk by Stephen King has been one of my favorite books. So when I was in high school, I think probably 2013, 14, 15, and 16, I read it once a year because I love The Long Walk by Stephen King because it's different than his other books, I would say. If you guys have no idea what it's about, The Long Walk is basically about a long walk. 100 teenage boys sign up to compete in the long walk. They have to keep, I think, a minimum speed of 4 miles per hour while they're walking. They don't get to stop for sleep, toilet breaks, eating. Like, no, you have to walk for a minimum of 4 miles per hour or else you get your ticket. And I've always loved the book. Not necessarily because of like the horror or the gore, but just because it is like 100 teenage boys and the relationship that these boys form over the course of the long walk, beautiful. And I've always loved that book. I think I convinced someone I used to be friends with to read it as well, because we used to like force each other to read books. Like, okay, well, you're going to read The Long Walk, but I will read whatever thing you want me to read. I think I made him read it. Anyway, I've always loved it, okay? I love Garrity and McBride's, like, it's good vibes, right? Now, back when I first read The Long Walk, so back in 2013, 2012, I was like, this has to have an adaptation. It's a Stephen King book. Every Stephen King book has an adaptation somewhere. Lo and behold, I found article after article stating that the book, the rights for the book had been purchased to become a movie, but that had happened in like the early 2000s or like the 90s, and it was just sitting there untouched. And I thought, okay, well, if it's been this long without The Long Walk getting a movie adaptation, why would it change at any point now? I was at the drive-ins last weekend, guys, when I was supposed to be vlogging, so you would have found out about this a week ago. Not that anyone watches this or cares, but I was, yeah, at the drive-ins to see Weapons with Bestie Bobo, and I saw a trailer. I saw the start of a trailer, and I heard the words Garrity, and I heard the word McBride's, and I was like, huh, what a quinkadink. And then I saw a bunch of teenage boys standing on a road, and I was like, no way. And then I heard a voiceover say, okay guys, we're about to start the long walk. And I thought, not a fucking shot. And then a thing came on the screen that said, based on the best-selling book by Stephen King. And I started hitting Bob violently in the arm. And I was like, Bob, you need to shut the fuck up. This is one of my favorite books. Like, this book has been in my top 5 books for over a decade. It's getting a movie adaptation, guys. I don't know if anyone's going to care about this, but if you've ever been interested in The Long Walk, if you like The Long Walk, if you loved it the way that I do, we're finally getting a movie adaptation. I'm so fucking excited. The one thing I will say, the trailer did not look too promising. The trailer made it seem very Hunger Games-esque. Like, I get it as like maybe a dystopian based on The Long Walk itself, but it looked very Hunger Games. I don't know if it's like the same director, maybe it is, but I don't know how to explain it. Like the cinematography, the color palette, it was very Hunger Games to me. And I'm like, that is not the vibe I got reading The Long Walk. Of course, it has been a couple years. I do want to reread it. So I was going to say this at the end later on of this clip, but I'm going to reread The Long Walk probably immediately after this. But anyway, let's get back to The Housemaid. So I left this a little bit late. I only started my reread last night after work, and it turns out I did not remember everything from The Housemaid. I forgot a lot of things that happened in The Housemaid. Like, I remembered the reveal. Like, I remembered that part. But I forgot, like, how we got to the reveal. So it's been actually a little bit interesting rereading this one. I only have, like, 50 pages left. Less than 50 pages. So I'm going to finish it now. That's why I started filming this clip now, because I want to show you guys that, like, I'm starting my day reading, which I never do. I usually wait until after I've had dinner to start reading, which gives me a very small amount of time between eating my dinner and going to sleep to read. Obviously that doesn't really matter on weekends. And secondly, yeah, whatever. I've been making a lot of lists in this video, like 1, B, C, or 3. But yes, this will be finished in the next, I suspect, half hour, 45 minutes. And I'm enjoying it. I don't... Nostalgia wants me to give it a 5-star. Current Steph, who has read a plethora of other thrillers since I first read this one, I think it might be closer to a 4. We'll see. But after I finish this one, so after I finish that today, because we are making measurable goals today, I either want to start Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose or Annie Bot by Sierra Greer. Now, either of these books is going to get me my last Goodreads achievement for this season. I have until, I think it's the 1st of September to read one of these. It was a weird challenge. It's like divided into page lengths. That's all these books. These have nothing in common. This is from the, I think, 200 to 250 page category, and this is from the 250 to 300 page category, but all the categories are in the same achievement. I don't understand why. And like, I don't know. But we have got this one. I know nothing about this. I just know that I've read from Geneva Rose before, and she truly is the Coher of thrillers. Her last thriller was fun, but like absolutely unhinged and made 0 sense. So I'm very excited to read this one. But then we've got Annie Bot, and from what I've heard, like, to me, this sounds like it's going to be a mix of Companion, the movie, and Blob by Maggie Sue, because I've read that one recently. I feel like it's going to be a mix, and also very heavy Black Mirror vibes, which is always a good time. I haven't even told you guys, I started watching The Twilight Zone, the original, unhinged. The first season, right, was shot and released in 1959, right? That was before my mother was born. That was before the moon landing. Like, that was a long time ago. And the amount of like sci-fi stuff they had in their heads, and the amount of stuff they predicted, and like the things that happened in The Twilight Zone that are still currently happening in new movies, like elements of like robots and like technology. It's crazy. Like, I was telling Bob, I think it's it's the first episode, the very first episode of The Twilight Zone, is this guy who, long story short, wakes up in a town, there's no people, and he keeps trying to find people in this town, but this town is completely abandoned. And eventually he kind of just loses his mind because he just needs a human person to talk to. He needs someone to talk to and converse with. And it turns out the entire scene, the entire thing of him being in this abandoned town is all in his head. It's all a simulation. He works, I guess, for NASA. They don't specify what agency he works for, but he works for a space agency, and he has been basically put under, like, unconscious, put into this simulation to see how he would do traveling to the moon by himself with no human companionship, to see like how long he would last without having another person to talk to. So while he was in that town for, I think it felt like a day, he was in this box by himself for, I think it was 3 weeks or something like that. I don't remember the time, but they basically were like, okay, so this is how long he would last before he would need a human person to talk to without going crazy. And I'm like, oh my god, like, him being sent to the moon, that's fun. And then I realized that was I think it was 10 full years before the actual moon landing. So 10 years before the moon landing happened, the writers in The Twilight Zone, Rod Serling, was already like, but what if you went to the moon by yourself? And yeah, I told Bob, and he was like, wait, that's crazy that like they put that episode out 10 years before the actual moon landing. And that's what I thought. Like, Rod Serling must have had like such a fucking crazy mind that like some of the stuff he comes out with, unhinged. So I'm not even that far into it. I think I've seen like 11 or 12 episodes so far. I'm only watching like a couple at a time, like between 2 and 4 at a time, because they are half-hour episodes, but I don't like just sitting and watching something for that long. I usually get fidgety after an hour and a half. And I've been watching with my stepdad, and I think it works because like the genre of Twilight Zone episodes is varied. Like there's been a western, there's been one set on a like a warship, there's been one set in modern day, and one set on different planets. So like both of us find something that we enjoy in genres, but also, and this is no shade whatsoever, but I feel like my parents' generation, they are both baby boomers, they get like this nostalgia for older television and black and white television, and I think my stepdad really enjoys that. I don't mind black and white. It used to really annoy me watching things in black and white, but I've learned to appreciate it. So going back to what I was saying, Black Mirror vibes, but you know what? Black Mirror vibes are actually just Twilight Zone vibes revamped. So this was a really long introductory video clip. It is 16 minutes and I haven't actually read anything. So I'm going to kindly depart, start drinking my coffee, and finish reading The Housemaid. That was so gross. The Housemaid. So I know that none of you care, literally none of you, but I would just like to show you something, okay? This is my original copy of The Little Prince, right? It's very lightly tabbed, but as you can see, so this was one of the books, I think I mentioned just before, that I read, I loved, and a person I used to be friends with, I was like, if you read this, I will read X, or I will watch Y. So I gave him like my underlined and very lightly tabbed copy of The Little Prince. And then he's gone through and he's also annotated, which at the time I was like, that's adorable. Like, because now I have both of our thoughts and feelings. I can't tell if that was me or him. Who's to know? But this person I have not spoken to in so fucking long. I actually, like, I'm so happy that they are living their life, but like, do not have any feelings towards them one way or the other. Except for a little bit of like, maybe a little bit of annoyance of how I was treated the entire time we were friends, and I just let it happen. And yeah, whatever. That's whatever. I think I'm actually going to get rid of this copy. I'm probably just going to donate it. Like if someone is cool with having annotations that you can't read throughout the book, I think I'm just going to donate this book because I actually have a different edition of this book. It's like bigger and it's got like glossy pages and it's got all the illustrations, but they are colored, I believe. So I'm doing something really good for myself, and I've been calling it, I'm slowly detoxing my space of negative energy. In the last couple of weeks, I've just thrown out and gotten rid of a lot of stuff that I've received from people or that remind me of people that have like completely just disappointed me and that I have no space for in my life anymore. So it's just been a really fun process. And it's made me feel lighter, like not having to, like not seeing something on my shelf and going like, oh, that person who did that thing to me got that for me. Now I'm thinking about that person. I'm just detoxing all that stuff. And it's been good vibes. So just thought I'd show you that. Okay, hello guys. I just came back from my book club meeting and I spoke to different people this time, so I didn't stick with my group. I ventured out and I really, really liked one of the women I was talking to tonight. It seems like The Housemaid was overall a hit for people. I, this time round, found the ending a little bit, a bit of a cop-out. I won't get into spoilers here, but yeah, this time around I was like, oh, I don't remember that and I don't really love that. It's almost like trying to excuse away the bad guy's behavior, you know. After I finished The Housemaid today, I did not read anything else. I just hung out on YouTube. So I'm thinking I'll probably start Anibot tonight. But yeah, book club meeting was a success. I've got some new gals to talk to, and I'm excited to see what the next book is going to be, because if we end up reading the book that one of the girls I was with chose, it sounds hilarious. I will probably not update you again tonight. I'll probably update you again tomorrow morning, and I will see you then. Hello, my friends. Ignore the oily, greasy hair. I only wash my hair once a week, and usually at this point in the week, my hair is up in a ponytail and doesn't come out of the ponytail, but I'm really trying to stick with my cute look. Oh, it actually doesn't look too bad if I cover it with that bit. Anyway, it is 1 p.m. on Friday. So I just thought I'd give you a little minor update. I haven't done a lot of reading today because I haven't been awake that long. But last night I did start Annie-Bot, so I did get about 30 pages in. And so far it is, yeah, very reminiscent of Companion, but it is just making me sad. Like, the way that this robot, this android is getting treated. Androids, I think androids are human that have parts of them that are robotic. I don't know. But this poor robot, the way she's getting treated is just making me so angry. And I hate men. Like, that's the vibe of this book so far. The first 30 pages is just like men are trash, like men are terrible. But I'm enjoying it so far. So I will be reading more of this tonight. But for right now, I have decided that I'm going to just watch some YouTube and I'm going to keep working on this cross stitch that I'm working on for my mom. Ignore all the creases in the folds, but like, it is like a relatively big cross stitch, and actual stitches themselves are like tiny. Like, the size of my fingernail is probably like 20 or 30 stitches. So I only have her face and then this little part of the pillar, and then I am done. I've been working on this on and off for about 2 years. So I don't have a set goal of when I want to finish it. It's just as long as I finish it before Christmas. But I will, yeah, be working on that probably for another hour or so, just watching YouTube videos, trying to catch up, because my watch later playlist on YouTube has gotten actually out of control. Like, it's very, very much a lot. Other things that I did today. I received a book in the mail that I'm very excited for, but I don't feel like I deserve to open it just yet. Like, if I do a few more things today and I'm a little bit more productive, then I will like feel like I've earned the treat of opening it up. So we will probably show that on camera. We'll probably open it together. I also borrowed, is it Keeping 13? The first book in the Boys of Tommen series I borrowed from the library because one of the ladies I spoke to last night, Aoife, she basically was raving about the series. She's like, honestly, I prefer the third and fourth books, but the first two books are still really good as well. And I was like, girl, they're so thick. I was like, if a romance is over 300 pages, like, I just can't commit to it. And she goes, that's what I thought, but she thinks they're worth it. So I told her, like, I might give them a go, and if I don't like them, it's on you. Similarly, I told Erin last night, one of the other girls, I think she and Aoife, neither of them had read The Love Hypothesis. And I was like, how have you not read The Love Hypothesis? And they both kind of said it was just one of those books that they always saw floating around that they never really like looked into further, which is how I am about Keeping 13. I've seen it so frequently that like it's just another book. Like, I haven't developed an interest in it at all. But I said to them, like, you guys need to read The Love Hypothesis. If you don't like it, it is not my fault. You are reading it because the movie's coming out soon and you need to do research. And they were like, yep, okay, that's why we're going to read them. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to read or try and read Keeping 13 this weekend, but Redeeming 13, Taming 13, I don't know what the title is, but if I do attempt it this weekend, obviously we'll keep you guys updated. But for now, I'm just going to do some cross stitch. Like I said, I'll probably do an hour of cross stitching, and then I might read a little bit more of Annie-Bot, and then I might have a nap. Also, I'm about to light this candle. So I've had this candle since the Oddities and Curiosities Expo last year in Melbourne, so last December, and I've had this gorgeous candle. I'll show you a close-up in a second. Since then, and I always thought, like, it's such a beautiful candle. It has like little bird skulls on it. I always wanted to have it as like a little display candle, but I'm also getting to the point of like, I almost have too many decorations on my bookshelves and I need to start culling them. So I think I'm gonna do this one. I don't even know what scent this is. So it's got, yeah, little raven skulls. Very cute. It is, oh, it doesn't even have a, I'd say it's like a vanilla raspberry of some sort, maybe. But I also kind of want to use this darkling candle. So from Nicola, made by Nicola. I love the Grisha trilogy, the first 3 books. Okay, I like them. I'm one of those girls. I'm one of those bitches that thinks the darkling is screen worthy. That's not too bad. It's not great though. And I always wanted to keep this candle as like mostly a decorative piece with all my Grisha books. However, I might have said at some point that I detoxified my bedroom last week. and this week. And this is one of those items that like logically I would just throw out, but like not logically. This is one of those things that I would emotionally throw out because the person that gave it to me issues, it's a whole thing. But instead I'm going to actually burn it. And now that I'm smelling it, it doesn't smell good enough to keep. It says it's a green tea night air lemon flower. Like, it doesn't smell bad, it just smells like generic clean candle. So yeah, I'm gonna light one of those two. I'm probably gonna use the Raven first, and then I'm gonna use the Darkling. I also have a Witch's Spell candle. I don't remember where I bought that. I don't know if it was at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo or if it was at a market, but that is a very spicy smell. So I think I'm going to say that for Spooktober, which is coming up, guys. 4 more weeks, and it is Spooktober season. Now, this will be the first year in 4 or 5 years that I will be working throughout October. Because every year I tend to take a week of annual leave. In October. I just think, like I said, the last 4 years at my previous job, I worked at Vic Roads, so I'm considering doing a deep dive about Vic Roads, in all honesty, because I mean, actual trauma. Not to be dramatic, but I actually have trauma from working there. I have a lot of issues from working at Vic Roads. A lot of anxiety. I still have nightmares about working at Vic Roads. So it sounds very dramatic, but I do have trauma from working there, and I think a little deep dive could be interesting. But like I said, the last 4 years when I worked at Vic Roads, I worked through Christmas every year. We did not have like a cool down period at the end of the year. We worked Christmas Eve, we had Christmas Day and Boxing Day off, and then we had New Year's Day off, but we didn't close. So the last 4 years I've worked on Christmas Eve, and I worked through the holiday season. And I think my logic was that, like, I'll take off a week in October, which kind of would replicate the week most companies would take off around Christmas. And this year I'm not doing that, but I will close over the Christmas period of this job. So we've kind of like switched things around. So I may not read as much this October as I usually do, but I am still very excited. There are a couple of books on my shelves I have saved specifically for spooky season. One of them is Graveyard Shift by M.L. Rio, for sure, because it's a short book. I really want to read that. There was one the other day that I picked up, that I was going through my shelves and I picked it up and I thought, oh, perfect for spooky season. I can't remember what it is now. It might have been Freak's Law by Jane Flett. I don't remember. Either way, I'm very excited for spook season, but we are like a month and a bit early. So I will talk to you guys later when I read more of Anibot. Okay, friends, it is 11:30 Friday night. I am so close to finishing Anibot, so I will just say this book is still depressing. This book, I don't remember what I told you guys in this just last clip, but this book is just making me sad and frustrated. And the MMC in this book, I feel like the author is trying to make him like really sympathetic. I feel nothing but hatred towards this man. I don't know why the book's gone this way. I don't know why the story's gone this way, and it's actually a little bit upsetting that none of the things I had hoped were going to happen have happened. Like, I really thought this was going to be more sci-fi thriller, maybe a bit of horror. This is almost a romance, and it's not what I expected. So I am a little disappointed, but I do have about half an hour of the audio left, so I'd say probably 50 pages of the physical book, and I can only hope something drastic changes, or else I'm just going to be depressed after this. So I'm going to quickly finish that. I'm going to pop open a cold one by myself because we love caffeine at 11:30. Honestly, man, I drink more caffeine at night than I do during the day, although I have had 2 coffees today and a Diet Coke and a fuck ton of water. And I had soup for dinner, which was delicious. Today was a really nice day for me. I got I know we all hate this brand, but I did get a Shein order today because this is like a personal sort of thing. I will make a whole video talking about my personal life, and I need to make one about my previous job. I've got a lot of video ideas that aren't book based, things that I just want to talk about, even if it's just for myself. But I have been losing weight this year. That was one of my, not goals, but it got to around like March, April, and I was like, holy shit, I'm sick of being fucking fat. Like, I'm really sick of being obese. I'm sick of seeing my size creep up and up and up and up and up. Like, someone's gonna need to change. And at that point I was unemployed and I was depressed, and I felt like I had no friends felt completely alone. So I had all this fucking free time and thought, you know what, I'm gonna start losing weight. So since April 1st, I have lost, and we're not quite at September 1st, but since April 1st, I have lost just under 19 kilos, which we love that for me. Like, I feel better, I feel like I look better, but most importantly, I just feel more confident, and I feel like I'm actually eating foods that are good for my body and good for my brain. But because I'm in this like transitional period, so like my blue jeans that I wear everywhere, when I wear them now, they look like trackies. Like, they look like tracksuit pants because they are so loose and baggy on me now. They are absolutely not fitted. The other day when I put them on to go see my friend Bob, I could like shove my hands into my waistband and it was still loose, whereas these jeans used to be really tight around my waist. So I did buy some like transitional clothes from Shein, things that I don't expect them to last long and I don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on them. They are literally transitional clothes because my goal is to keep losing weight, and hopefully in a few months the Shein clothes won't fit me and I can just donate them or pass them along to whoever. So that is the goal. So I did get one part of a Shein order today, because I checked out with an order and then literally 3 minutes later I was like, fuck, I wanted to get wireless headphones for work. So then I placed a separate order like no more than 10 minutes after. So the second order that had the wireless headphones arrived today, as did a pair of jeans. The other order I'm hoping comes tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember why I started talking about this. Oh, because I just had a nice day. Today was just a nice day. So I bought jeans on Shein and I bought them a size smaller than I typically would on Shein. Now, I think the Shein sizes for me personally are always one above what I actually am in Australian sizing. So usually, should I just say the sizes? I don't actually care. So I'm an Australian, for the last couple of years, I've been between an Australian size 22 and 24. So if I have purchased something on Shein, I just always get a 24. Always have gotten a 24 on Shein. But I decided to do something risky because I am now between a 20 and 22 in Australian sizes, so I've gone down a size, and I was like, should I risk getting jeans that have absolutely no, like, there is stretch around the waistband, but the actual material itself has no stretch. I'm like, these don't fit over my thighs. Like, do I risk getting a size 22 or should I just stay with a size 24? Because the Shein size 24 worked for me when I was 22 in Australian sizing. So I'm like, now that I'm a 20 in Australian sizing, should I try the Shein 22 jeans? And guess what? They fucking fit. So I just felt so good. The jeans fit perfectly. They are a really good thick material. So I had a really successful day. So to make this day even more successful, we are going to caffeinate. We are going to light a candle, which you cannot see because my angle has changed. I'm going to finish the rest of Annie-Bot. Okay? I'm going to tell you guys about it, the ending, if I remember to film it. I'm then going to do a bit more cross-stitching and watch some YouTube videos while I cross stitch, and then before I go to sleep, I think I'm going to write up my review for this and then potentially try and start another book. Now, I don't know what book I want to read next. I really do want to try The Boys of Tommen. Is that what the series is called? I really want to try the first book because I have the audiobook from my library now, because Aoife was like, she was just praising it and hyping it so much. Like, I really want to give it a shot, so next time I see her I can be like, hey, by the way. But I don't know what I feel like reading. My cat is outside my window. It is 11:30 at night and it's raining, and I just had my cat outside. So I'm going to go let her in and then I will read. Okay, friends, it is 12:30. I've just brushed my teeth and I did just finish Annie-Bot. Now, this book did eventually get to where I'd hoped it would, but it happened really quickly. Within like the last 5 pages, it all kind of just happened, and I didn't love that, but I really enjoyed reading from Annie's perspective. And I understand why certain things were done. The resolution was just a bit too quick for me. I'm still going to give this a 4-star. Like, I still enjoyed this book. Maybe enjoy is the wrong word. I think this is a good book. And I would reread it, and I want to keep it on my shelves. But I just don't know who I'd recommend it to, because, like, this is, like, I guess it's just general fiction with a slight element of sci-fi, I guess. But enjoyed it. So I'm giving it 4 stars. I think it is now time that I can open my book parcel. So I got this parcel today, which you guys know if you've been watching this video and made it to this point. But I said earlier that I wanted to wait until I felt like I'd earned opening a parcel, and I feel that now. So we're gonna open my bookish parcel. Cool. Don't need that box. I've got so many boxes in my bedroom that I need to put into the recycling bin. Okay, I don't really love that this didn't come with any bubble wrap, considering the amount I paid for it, but oh, she is beautiful. She is beautiful. She is the Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. This is the, I think it's Illumicrate. Yes, the Illumicrate edition. She is beautiful. I will say, I did not realize until after I'd already purchased this, that this dust jacket is like a clear plastic cover, but I still think it's really beautiful. I really like it. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of a close-up. I mean, she's just kind of stunning. So I have actually not read this book yet. I said that sentence weird. I have not read this book yet. But so I mainly bought it because I had read that amazing book last month and it made me want to read this book. So I purchased a special edition. I mean, it is objectively like such a beautiful edition. I know that a lot of people are looking out for the Fairy Loot edition, but I think they're both equally stunning. I wouldn't have a preference one way or the other, so I'm really glad that I snagged this for a really decent price. Let's just make sure we got the author's signature. There. Oh my god, it has a little kitty cat. Oh my god, it's not even fucking signed. It is a digital signature. Are you kidding? Guys, I feel like digital signatures don't mean much. That could just be a me thing. But for Illumicrate and Fairy Loot, I thought that they would like signed editions, like physically signed editions. That could be incorrect. I just feel like maybe I'm just lucky. Maybe I've just been blessed lately, but I feel like a lot of the special editions that I've been purchasing have had like physical signatures on it. So it's real crazy to me that that one is digital. But that's fine, I suppose. I don't know what I'm going to start reading next, if I start anything tonight. So I'm just going to do some cross stitching and I will either update you or I will see you tomorrow morning. Oliver, can you say I am the most problematic kitty cat? I am the problem child. Yes, I am. Happy Saturday, my friends. Oh, look how cute my little corner looks right now. This is what I'm calling my cross stitch corner because if you look up, so we've got Prison Mike, a Slytherin cross stitch, a 6 cross stitch, and the first cross stitch I ever completed, which is called Foxy Moron. I'm calling that my cross stitch corner. Anyway, have I read anything today? I have not, but I did go to Savers, as you would have seen just before. I got a couple of tops. I got a vase. But obviously we're here to talk about books. So let me show you the books that I got. Okay. I found a couple of other books that were in my basket, but then just I took them out because I'm trying to be slightly more mindful with my book purchases. And a couple of these books I had previously been ready to purchase and then just changed my mind last minute. So I'm really happy that I found these. So the first one I picked up is called Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. Now, this isn't actually the Sally Hepworth book I wanted to find. I was hoping to find. The one I wanted to find is called The Younger Wife, but this was the only one they had. So I picked it up. I have no idea what it's about. I think Sally Hepworth is an Australian thriller author, but she has like these covers that don't really read thriller to me. So I've always thought, okay, maybe she's more literary fiction, and I've just stayed away from them. But on the TikToks, international BookTokers talk about Sally Hepworth. So this one says, for as long as they can remember, Jessica, Nora, and Alicia have been told how lucky they are. Rescued from family tragedies and raised by a loving foster mother on an idyllic farming estate, they were given an elusive second chance of a happy family life. But the childhood wasn't the fairy tale everyone thinks it was. And when a body is discovered under the home they grew up in, the foster sisters themselves find themselves thrust into the spotlight as key witnesses. Or are they the prime suspects? Interesting. That actually is quite interesting. I am intrigued. For a second there, I was like, is this going to be like a bring her back situation? But anyway, that sounds really, really exciting. And that one, now I will say, when I first started shopping at Savers, back when I was at uni, but my second university, 2016, so 9 years ago, when I first started shopping at Savers, most paperbacks, just like standard paperbacks, were I think $3, $2.99. Obviously inflation has also affected secondhand stores because yeah, $5.50 for this, which is still, you know, more than half price of what it would retail for, but it's a bit pricey, that's all I'm saying. Then I picked up Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. Now, I, again, have been interested in this series for quite some time, but I didn't want to commit to purchasing them all. My theory with this series is if I read the first one and I really like it, I will probably opt to try and find special editions because all these special editions of the Emily Wilde series are stunning. So again, $5.50 for this paperback. This is the first book in the series. Is this not the first book in the series? Because if it's not, I'm going to cry. It's not, is it? Oh no, maybe it is. Is it? Oh, I don't know, guys. Because there's another cover on the back here, and usually that means, unless that's the sequel. Okay, well, I'm going to have to, I'll put it here if anyone actually cares to know. I will have to Google after this. Usually I Google before I purchase, but I was so excited, I just threw this into my basket. Next we have another one that I have wanted to read for, I'd say a couple of months now. Probably when I first really started deep diving back into Greek mythology, I was looking up books. Greek mythology retellings, books about Greek mythology. This book, I think it's the first in a trilogy, possibly. No, that's the Penelope trilogy. I think this might be a standalone, but I also think this author has written quite a few books surrounding Greek mythology. But anyway, this is a book that I saw, I added it to my Amazon cart, I looked for it secondhand, and then I was like, ugh, I don't want to pay for delivery. So I just kind of forgot about it, but I saw it today, so I yanked it up, and it is called The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. This, I believe, follows, is it Briseis? Is that how you pronounce her name? She was in The Song of Achilles. Oh, that's where it all started. I read The Song of Achilles for the first time, and I wanted more stories. So I wanted to read more retellings about those same characters, from different perspectives, I suppose, because you're only following Patroclus's POV in Song of Achilles. But I saw this and I was like, oh, what's it about? Like, The Silence of the Girls, like, which female figures of Greek mythology? And then it said Briseis, and I was like, oh my god, she was in The Song of Achilles. That's crazy. Because they don't really focus on her backstory too much in The Song of Achilles. She's kind of a side character. She kind of becomes a friend slash potential wife, and that's kind of it. So yeah, this is the Trojan War. It basically says, as told in the Iliad, the Trojan War was a quarrel between men, but what of the women in this story silenced by their fates? I'm very, very curious to see this. So this was $6.50 because it is a tall paperback, but I will say, I mean, it is in perfect condition. Like, I don't think the person who owned this before ever really read it. They might have just kept it on a bookshelf for a couple of years. So that was a really, really fun one. The last book I found is a little bit like The Universe is Listening to Me. Now, I told you guys, I went to my book club on Thursday, and we were talking about, so many different types of books, so many different genres and authors. But at one point we were talking about books that seemed too preachy. Oh no, it was Erin. She had her phone pulled up and she was reading the description of a book, and she was like, this book, no, I was wrong again. Erin was telling us how she'd watched a new movie that just came out on Prime. The Paths That Led Me to You, or something like that. And she was saying, like, yeah, it really blew up on my TikTok For You page. Everyone who watched it said that, you know, it entirely changed their perspective on life. And she said, I really enjoyed it, but it didn't change my perspective on life. And I was like, yeah, I feel like a lot of things these days try and push the, like, it'll change the way you think forever. And I hate things that are preachy about that. Like, if that's the message you're trying to send, that's cool. But if it is the only message you're trying to send, and it is, like, really, really being forced upon the consumer, I hate that shit. And I was like, that's why I haven't read The Midnight Library yet. And the girls at the table, one of them was like, yeah, I think I've heard of that book. A couple of them were like, oh no, I haven't heard of that book. And I said, okay, so from my understanding, the summary is a woman commits suicide, ends up in like an afterlife, and in this afterlife she's in a library, and every single book on every single shelf is a different version of what her life could be based on different choices she made. So if you didn't go to college and instead stayed at home, this would have happened, and, you know, shows her every single thing that a life could have been. And I was saying to the girls, to me, that just seems so preachy. Like, here's an entire library of all the other lives you could have lived if you hadn't have killed yourself, which I'm not going to get into how I feel about people getting off the train early, but I think it's a very personal choice. And I feel like in some situations, if someone truly believes there is no other options, even if it's a fictional character, if someone feels like this is the only thing left, like this is all I can do, and then to be like, but you still shouldn't have done it because, like, look, if you had just gone for a walk that day instead, this would have happened. It just seems a little bit too preachy for me. But some of the other girls were like, that actually kind of sounds interesting. So 2 of them added it to their TBR, like they added it notes. They added it into a note document on their phones. And then today I'm at Savers, and what do I fucking see but the Midnight Library. Now this book, like I said, I have been aware of this book for a very long time. For a very long time it was getting so hyped and I genuinely wanted to read it. I think I might even have the audiobook because I think it was on sale on Audible at some point. I'll have to check after this little clip. But I was really wanting to read this book for a really long time, and then I started thinking about it, and like the message of this is going to be always choose life. There's other options, there's always other choices. And to some extent, I agree with that. But I just thought maybe this book is not going to be for me. And I was like, nope, not going to read it. It's fine. But then when we were talking about it at the book club, I was like, maybe I should give it a chance. Like, maybe I actually will enjoy this book. So when I found it today, I was like, yep, I'm going to have to pick it up. So this one was also $5.50. And the only thing, like, I'm sure it's going to be fine. Like, I might even really enjoy this book. I'm sure it's not going to change my perspective on life or death for that matter. But I've also heard that a lot of Matt Haig's other books are very similar. Like, a lot of them are very preachy about love your life. Just love your life. Just drink some water and go for a walk and you'll be healthy and you'll be happier, and like reach out to people and don't isolate yourself. Like, and you know, good advice. But sometimes depressed people don't want to hear that. So I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted about whether or not this is going to be the book for me. But I am going to message the girls from book club. Actually, I was supposed to do that while I was eating lunch and I forgot. So those are the 4 books I got from Savers today, and I think the last time we went to Savers was only probably a month ago. I've been at my new job now for I think 5 weeks, and I think I went shopping a week after I started. So yeah, I probably went to Savers about 4 weeks ago. Last time I went, none of these books were there. So I might start going more frequently. I've been watching a lot of Pretty Pastel Please. So she's an Australian, or she was rather, an Australian YouTuber named Alex. She unfortunately passed about 2 years ago, but she's a comfort watch for me. So when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, I was in bed for 4 days, didn't go out, didn't do anything, was literally just in bed, and all I could consume, all I wanted to watch was Alex. I've finally gotten to a point today where I don't think I've got any other videos of hers to watch. I think I've watched everything she's ever published. But she does a lot of thrifting in her videos. And I don't know, it just kind of made me want to get back into the thrifting vibe, because for a really long time there, I was really enjoying my time thrifting. Like, I'd go to secondhand stores and spend like an hour looking at everything they had. And then in recent years, I've kind of just lost the patience for it. Like, I'll go in, quickly look at the books, and if nothing immediately stands out, I'll just leave. And I kind of want to get back into like the like exploring thrift shops instead of just ducking in and ducking out. But anyway, I still haven't read anything today. I think I'm actually going to cross stitch right now, and then maybe read for a little bit, and then probably have a nap with my cat, Mr. Oliver, who was sitting at the end of my bed being a very quiet, beautiful boy. So we'll check back in later. Welcome back, pals. It is 9:45 at night, and guess what? I actually have read something since the last time we spoke, so I'm just going to show you the book now. I did start reading Homes Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose, and I guess we can talk about it a little bit while I brush out my hair, because I did just have a shower. I wish I had enough motivation and money to attempt the curly girl method, because I am definitely a curly girl. I've had curly / wavy hair my entire life. Never had a single day in my life where I've looked at my natural, like, air dried hair and been like, oh, that looks pretty good. Like, and plus, as you can see, I did at the start of the year, I bleached it. It was green for like 2 days. I will insert a picture here if I remember, but that did not suit me. It did not. I always thought, like, because green's one of my favorite colors, that like it would be a vibe, and then it was not. And I thought, okay, usually I don't love my hair when I first initially dye it. Like, usually it takes like a wash or two for the color to kind of soften and for me to like style it in a way that I like, but it just did not happen with the green hair. So I just literally put Was it red or brown? I just dyed over it, and now I've got like this thing happening. So my hair like is very dry, but like even when my hair has been healthy as fuck, I've never really enjoyed the way that my hair naturally curls. And like I said, I'm really like, I'm lucky, like not lucky, my body, my personal hygiene is lucky that I shower and brush my teeth every day, because like I'm so fucking lazy with stuff like that. So yeah, Kelly Girl method, would love to do it. Feel like it would really benefit me in the long run. I just cannot. So anyway, Home is Where the Bodies Are. So I went into this book knowing absolutely nothing. I will say, like, I don't know if I should be saying this, but seeing as I bought a physical copy of the book, I feel like maybe I won't get hate for it. But basically I googled Home is Where the Bodies Are audiobook on Google, because it'll tell me like which libraries in my area may have the audiobook as well. And lo and behold, there are 3 of the same audiobook of Home is Where the Bodies Are on the YouTube. So that is how I'm listening to the audiobook while I follow along with my eyeballs. So yeah, go support the author, give the author actual money, but if you want to listen to the audiobook on YouTube, it is indeed there. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Ooh. So yeah, I went into this book completely blind. I had no idea what this book was about. All I knew was the title and that I've read a book by this author before. So I'll just tell you what's happened so far. Considering that I'm like a third of the way through it, not a lot has happened. So I'm at page 77. Okay, so far all we know is that we are following 3 siblings, so we're in each of their POVs. It's alternating between chapters. We have got Beth, the oldest, who never really made anything of herself. We have got the next oldest, who is Nicole. She is an addict. She has just kind of gone on the wrong path in life and is struggling to find a way back. And then we've got the youngest, which is a brother named Michael, and he's like the success story. These 3 siblings haven't really spent any time together in 7 years, but unfortunately the book opens with their mother dying. So they all reconnect, coming to the mother's house. And then they find out that maybe their parents are keeping a really big secret from them. That's all we know. I happen to know what the secret is. I'm not going to tell you unless you want to, in case you want to go in blind as well. But yeah, 76 pages in, and like not a lot has happened. So it's basically, I just guess I guess we're just getting a feel for the siblings and their personalities. But like, I did think that by now maybe something would have happened. I've got my coffee, I've got my candle, I'm about to take my medication. I don't even want to start going on about my vagina bleeding and how it is the worst. I just hate periods. I remember when I was little baby Steph, when I was like, when did I first get my period? Grade 6 or 2007. So I was 11. And I remember like asking questions and like complaining about it and being like, it's just the worst. And the answer I always got, especially from like the older generation, like my nana's generation, was, oh, it's your body preparing you to have a baby. It's God's way of showing you that you're a woman. And I was always waiting for the day when I would be like, you know what, periods really aren't that bad. Like, I appreciate my period and everything it's doing for my body. That day hasn't come and I'm 29. So yeah, still hate them. Still hate having showers with my period. I know that like it's just fine. You know, apparently some women, the flow stops in the shower. That does not happen for me. So it's like a struggle of like getting out of the shower and drying off and getting changed without making a mess in my bathroom, basically. I know this is entirely too much information, but every single month, especially like if it's a literal 5-minute shower, like I've just come home from work, I'm just washing the body in the face, in and in the shower, out of the shower, it's not too bad. But when I'm in the shower for like half an hour, washing and conditioning the hair, the longer that I stand there and the more that is flowing, I'm like, it's just gonna be such a mess. But you know what? I always do feel a lot better after a period shower because I feel uber doubly clean. I'm gonna try and read the rest of Home is Where the Bodies Are tonight. I mean, like, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. I probably won't go to sleep for another 4 or 5 hours, maybe longer. Maybe we're feeling a bit frisky today, and I did have quite the long nap in the afternoon. So I'm going to finish Home is Where the Bodies Are. There's also a section of my cross stitch that I want to have finished tonight because I'm sick of looking at the same purple, the same like purpley gray shade. I'm sick of looking at it. I need it to be complete. I think for right now in this very moment, because I have my coffee and like, no, I might do some cross stitching. Okay, friends, it is, what time is it? So 12:37. So we are in the early mornings of Sunday now, which is really depressing to say out loud because I hate Sundays. I think I hate Sundays more than Mondays. That's not what we're here for. I just finished reading Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. This book was I wouldn't like compare it to a Frida book. This book was just quick, easy, fun. I did suspect where the book was going by the end. But I think it was still a good book. I think it's a satisfying ending, satisfying conclusion. I don't think it is an amazing reveal. I don't think it's the best written book in the world, but it definitely, to me, was better than You Shouldn't Have Come Here. This actually seemed like a thriller. You Shouldn't Have Come Here. I don't know what that book was. It was like trying to be a romance so hard, but it was just ridiculous. This one I don't think was as ridiculous. This is just like a solid thriller. So I'm going to give it probably a 4-star. I don't necessarily love the way that addiction was dealt with in this book, and I hope that's just like when you have multiple POVs, I'm hoping that it's just the characters' points of view and not the author's feelings about drug addicts. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It wasn't anything special, but it also wasn't bad. Maybe closer to like a 3.5 star, but I'm gonna keep this book because I did enjoy it, and that is finished. I don't know what I'm gonna read next. Actually, I could, you know what? I might actually reread The Long Walk. Maybe I'll do that, which is crazy because I did not plan to have any rereads this month. But I guess maybe that's what I'm gonna do. I think maybe for September, because today's technically we've just hit August 31st. So Monday, fresh day, first day of the month, the fresh week. I think I'm going to actually maybe potentially set an actual TBR because I haven't done that for a couple of months now, and I get to moments like this where I have so many things to read that I actually just can't pick one thing. So maybe September 1st will be a TBR month, and then obviously Spooktober. October is going to be spooky month. I think maybe I should try and read a couple of romances in September that tied me over until the end of October, if that makes sense. Anyway, it's 12:30 something, 12:38, 12:39 now. I don't think I will update you guys again tonight. I kind of just feel like being a bit lazy right now. Like I really just want to watch YouTube videos and play games on my phone because like I've read a whole ass book today. I finished the big section on my cross stitch that was doing my absolute fucking head in. So I just kind of feel like being a little bit lazy. I feel like going and grab some of my leftovers from dinner. I got beef curry from my favorite Indian place. It is delicious. Maybe getting like an energy drink or a Diet Coke. I need something fizzy because I've just been drinking water for the last few hours. But with that, we are going to say good night. I think Saturday was quite a good day for me. I'm just trying to think of the books I bought today. Do I want to start any of them now? Not particularly. Yeah, I might reread The Long Walk. We'll see how we go. But I will update you guys as soon as something happens. So big oopsie daisies, my bad. It is 10:15 on Sunday night. So didn't update anything today at all. Basically, I'm very crampy today and I kind of just wanted a really chill, easy day. And then I ended up unexpectedly having to do some work for like a side hustle situation I've got going on. And that took like 3 hours that I wasn't anticipating having taken up today by random shit. So I will tell you guys, I have started Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Now, this is a reread because I have got Nothing Like the Movies, I think is the sequel. I've had that book on my shelf since it came out and I've just left it on the shelf and looked at it and been like, huh, maybe one day I'll read that. But I don't know, for some reason I had the thought the other day that I want to finish this duology, so I've borrowed the audiobook from my library and I'm just listening to it while Sorry, I've got like the burpees because I just had a bit of Diet Coke. I've been just listening to the audiobook while I've been doing other stuff. But apparently I'm 120 pages in. So yeah, audiobook is relatively short. I think it's like a 10-hour audiobook, but it is zooming past. So this is a YA, but senior year of high school, so like right on the edge of new adult. And our main character, Liz, is a romance movie expert. She loves them. She's like obsessed with rom-coms and love stories. And the book kind of starts when one of her childhood friends named, I think his name's Michael. Yes, Michael has moved back to town, and she has this like epiphany moment of, he is the one I'm supposed to be with. He is supposed to be my perfect boy. Like, we've been separated by years and distance, and now the universe has reunited us. But Michael kind of still thinks of her as the little kid that used to like run around in the street with him. Like, he doesn't think of her as like a teenage girl in her own right. So she enlists the help of her next door neighbor Wes. They are frenemies. Like, they are civil to each other, but they also hate each other's guts, and they fight over this car park at the front of their houses. And she enlists Wes's help to kind of help set her up with Michael in exchange for the car park that they fight over. Obviously, I don't need to tell you guys, this is about her and Wes. Like, Wes is trying to help her and Michael get together, but like along the way he's going to see that Liz is more than just the crazy girl next door. You know, it's one of those. But I remember absolutely loving this book when I first read it. I gave it 5 stars. So I am hopeful that I will still give it 5 stars. I will say this is just kind of a little bit of a reminder that YA is not the vibe for me anymore. Like, I love this story, I love this book, and it's given me those like cutesy like high school feels, but I don't know how many of these types of books I could read before I'm like, I need to get back to the adult stuff. Now, I have a couple of things to say. First of all, I do not think these vlogs, if I do continue them, are going to be from Thursday to Sunday. I think they're just going to be Thursday to Saturday, because I've noticed that by the Sundays, I am just like sad. Sundays are a sad day for me. Like, everyone hates Mondays. No, I hate Sundays. I think Sundays are worse than Mondays, because Sunday is the anticipation of having to go back to work. Once I'm actually at work, I don't really give a shit. I actually like my job now, but it's the Sunday, the anticipation of like, I'm gonna have to go to bed early, I'm gonna have to get my clothes ready, and I'm gonna have to get my lunches ready, and it's just, you know, it's a bit of that. So I'm thinking that I will probably continue weekend vlogs in the future, but I think they are going to be Thursday to Saturdays. So that was the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing is I'm probably not going to update anymore tonight. I'm thinking oh my god, my hair is so tangled underneath here. How did that happen? I'm thinking tonight I'm going to just keep listening to the audiobook of Better Than the Movies while I work on my cross stitch. And you probably won't even hear about my thoughts on it, because by the time I start a new reading vlog on Thursday, I'll likely have another book to start. So yeah, not sure what to do about that. Follow me on Goodreads. And lastly, next weekend, I am going to see a theatre production of Troy, and I'm so goddamn excited. But I'm going by myself, so I maybe will vlog like some of my drive into the city. I don't know. I don't exactly know what I'm going to be filming next Saturday, but I'm very excited. So I think that is all I have to say. Thank you for following me this weekend if you did. If you have any thoughts on the books I read, let me know. Apart from that, I hope you guys had an amazing weekend, and I hope you have a great week wherever you may be going this week, school, work, whatever. I hope you have a really good one, and I will probably either see you for another weekend reading vlog, but I actually am also considering doing this video I said that I was going to do about working at Vic Roads. And I also want to do like a little personal update, like the things that have changed for me this year, because like I keep thinking in my head, so many things have changed, I made so many positive changes in my life, but I think I would like to document them. So I will see. Either way, thanks for watching. Bye.